Hello, everybody, once again. Welcome to the Elite City podcast. Obviously, Blasco is once again not here. I think he said he was traveling around the world in a balloon. Was that right, Biddy?
Yeah, he's like that old guy from Up, right?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
like put his house on a balloon and he's just like floating around. I thought that was it. I wasn't exactly sure, but I'm glad that you confirmed that that's what he's doing.
I did shoot down a couple of his balloons when he floated over my house.
Well, what else were you supposed to do?
I know.
You wouldn't want it to be too easy for him.
No.
So it's just us again. And hey, surprise, we have another AEW event to preview. They're having another big event.
Stop with all the events.
So good news, Tony Khan today apparently said that he doesn't want to do monthly pay-per-views in his like pre-WrestleDream call. But he also kind of made it seem like he'll just do whatever Warner wants him to do. So it's entirely possible that they're like, we want 18 pay-per-views and we just have to have them.
There's no way there's a market for that. Like,
no.
If they're going to all be like individually have to be purchased or, individually priced, there's just no way.
No, there's no way. Like, not like the price is obviously the determining like limiting factor, but like also like people, like we've said before, there's too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like, there's already just too much. Like to add another like AEW pay-per-views are traditionally long too.
Like we're nerds about this and it's too much for us.
Yeah, it's a lot. So we're a little bit late this week, so we're not gonna talk too much about Grand Slam because it's about a week old now. So we're just gonna touch on it a little bit. The one thing I want to say is Sting and Darby won that match. So that means Blasco and I win the prediction contest and you lose, Biddy.
Oh my gosh, congrats.
If you wouldn't have switched your pick from the Elite winning the ROH titles, we would have tied. But
yeah.
Instead we win. So Blasco's not here to celebrate. I'll celebrate on his behalf.
He's not here to gloat.
Yeah, I'll celebrate on his behalf later. So we'll be very excited. But you have another chance to win this week. So
yes, because it's again never ending.
What were your general thoughts about Grand Slam?
Oh my God! Well, let me think back that far. Well, obviously, I mean, and we're gonna get to it, but the Mox thing was just out of nowhere, obviously, because he got hurt. But like that, everyone was just like, "What?"
Yeah, that was odd. I have something to say about that. I might as well say it now while we're on it.
Yeah, let's.
Basically, it was a fluke accident. Like, fine, that's understandable. I don't, but like the referee's job is kind of to like protect. One of their jobs is to protect the wrestlers in the ring. Like if they're injured, to notice that they're injured or to at least talk to them. And apparently Mox got injured like 2 minutes into the match.
If that, it was like right as soon as he jumped off the thing.
Yeah. And then I know Mox probably like said he was fine and like just wanted to keep going. Like I get that. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of your job to not let them wrestle 15 more minutes or whatever after he smashed his head into the ground.
Yeah, I think that ref probably got reamed out big time for multiple things.
And like, yeah, like the pinfall, like I get that he wasn't supposed to win, like Phoenix wasn't, so he didn't want to count the pin. But like, I know, at least in WWE, they're taught to just count the pin because it looks worse to stop than to keep counting. Like it looked really bad for him to just be like, oh, I think you kicked out. And then not only that, but like clearly Mox either was too injured to kick out or didn't want to kick out. Like he wanted the match to end.
Right.
And then he didn't count it. And then Ray Phoenix like hit him with another pile driver. Like if the guy's already hurt, why are we doing a second pile driver on him?
It was extremely sloppy and
that seems like the sort of thing where Ray Phoenix should have been like, oh, realized and like just like gingerly rolled him up or something to end the match.
Yeah. But yeah, like I see so many things online that's like, this is an embarrassment for AEW, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, most of it's like, no, you can't help what like, CM Punk does. And I don't know, other things. But this, I'm like, that was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. I feel like if that was I don't know. I feel like the referees aren't, it seems like they're not getting enough. Like maybe Aubrey, she seems like she's really good at this. But maybe they're not getting the right amount of training to be able to spot an injury or call something on the fly. Like I'm sure I get that he didn't want to end the match when in a way the match wasn't supposed to end.
Right.
But you kind of have to like empower them to make that decision.
Health trumps story every time.
Yeah. It was dangerous, and I don't want to blame Ray Phoenix because he didn't know what was going on. I'm assuming, but like the fact that he just did the same move again, like at that point he should have like done a leg drop onto Mox's knee or something,
right?
And then pinned him rather than I'm gonna hit the guy with a concussion with a. I know he didn't hit his head didn't hit the floor on the pile driver, but you don't want to drop a guy with a concussion on his head like that.
Well, that first one looked rough too.
Yeah.
Like the second one, you could definitely tell it was, way safer. But that first one, it did look like. So he was already had his bell rung, and then he got it rung a little more, which is like the worst thing you can do for a concussion.
Right.
So yeah, it was just a hot mess all around.
It was. I hope that they did something backstage, like talk to everyone involved, and like, or had like a team meeting to be like, if this ever happens again, you have to be better with this, because I know it was like random and fluky, and I could tell that kind of no one really knew what to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like they should have told them in advance. Like, if there's ever an injury in a match, just end the match rather than let it keep going. Especially a head injury. Like, I can see, like, I don't know, you separate your shoulder or something and you work for 2 more minutes. Like, it's not really going to get significantly worse.
Yeah.
But like a concussion can be really bad. So hopefully Mox is okay.
Indeed. No, I had just been thinking how he hasn't been hurt in his entire AEW run, and then that happened. Yeah.
It must have been bad for him to want to end the match.
Yeah.
Because first I thought he got knocked out, and that's why he didn't kick out. But when you see him, he's conscious. He's like, his eyes are open, but he's just not there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it must have been bad for him to not like instinctively kick out, because he's obviously a professional. So hopefully he's okay.
Word.
And while we're on injuries, another random apparently injury was Adam Cole seems to hurt his leg somehow jumping off the ramp.
I think that ramp might be a bad idea.
Yeah, it was a different ramp. It was like it was raised differently, or it met the ring differently than usual.
Oh yeah, usually it's elevated and it's like flush with the ring instead of just going to the floor, which they used to do. And I think that they had the similar ramp thing, and that's how CM Punk got hurt with his foot.
Yeah. So, they do that when they're in like a bigger arena.
Yeah,
they do a different ramp. But yeah, the ramp clearly is not.
The ramp's
not a good idea.
Taking out people left and right.
Yeah. So maybe let's not have that ramp anymore. Good call.
It's the Nia Jax of set pieces.
So hopefully Adam Cole's okay, because they have their storyline going on. I mean, he was walking around on it, but he was limping, and he seemed to be in pain. Tony Khan said we'll hear more. They're still booked for the match, and we'll hear more about it tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on when you're listening to this. So it's hopefully not that bad. I mean, it's a tag match, so I feel like even if he's kind of injured, they could just work around that.
Yeah, if it's a sprain, I mean, it'll still not feel good, but he'll still be able to probably work on it.
Yeah, and he could do like 5 minutes of a 20-minute tag match.
Yeah.
And MJF can do the rest. So hopefully that's okay. Anything else about Grand Slam you wanted to mention?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, Eddie that was really cool.
That was great.
I was super pumped for Eddie.
That place erupted. Like, oh yeah, that was so wonderful. Good for Eddie.
Yeah. I'm really happy for him. I'm glad that. And apparently he's re-signed with AEW too. So good for him. He's having a good week.
He went from just about quitting to now having 2 titles at once. Like,
yeah,
dude. Yeah.
He deserves it. He earned it. Like he worked every day for that stuff. And he apparently, I mean, he got in a fight with, he punched Sammy that time backstage, but like, who hasn't wanted to punch Sammy? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, he doesn't cause trouble. He just like is quiet and does his job and like is great in the ring, great on promos. So
yeah, I wonder what Sammy did, because it must have been annoying for Eddie to actually risk things and do that.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Sammy being annoying.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like, actually, I wish I could have seen that. I bet it was lovely.
The other thing we should talk about, not necessarily specifically AEW related, but Jade Cargill has officially signed with WWE, and they are making a big deal about it.
Yep.
They are having her everywhere. And I mean, I understand why they are, because they want it to see, not only is Jade, has a lot of potential, but they obviously want everyone else in AEW to be like, look how well we treat everyone when they come to AEW. Like we look how well we're treating her. She's getting such a big reception, and they're following her into the building and all kinds of stuff. And obviously they're trying to position themselves as like they're the major leagues. Like, oh, they called her. She got called up essentially, right? So the Jade thing is a little weird because out of all the people who I would have expected to leave AEW, I mean, obviously someone was going to leave. We're not always going to go one direction. It's not always going to be guys from WWE coming to AEW. Someone is going to leave. I'm surprised by the two people who've left AEW, big names. Sorry, Brian Pillman Jr. But the two who've left were Cody and Jade, which were probably the two least expected to ever leave, in my opinion.
I don't know about the least. Like, if Mox went back, that would be least expected.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That would be hell freezing over, though.
Yeah, that's true. But I just because like Cody was an EVP, but obviously he had a WWE history. But then like Jade was treated like she didn't say she was mistreated. That wasn't her reason for leaving. But like she was treated incredibly well. Yeah. In AEW. We talked about last week why it makes sense for her to leave, but
and Tony said that she's welcome back anytime with open arms. So
yeah.
She didn't burn any bridges or anything, and that's
no. And she did she ran out her contract. She lost on the way out. She did everything seems to be on positive terms. So
yeah,
we wish her the best, and hopefully they don't name her Jada Parker.
I have a feeling she might get elevated like the way she wants to, but I wonder how much the positives will outweigh the negatives. I mean, I guess if she ends up with millions of dollars and stuff, but. I just wonder how much of a realizing the grass isn't greener type of situation.
Yeah, I feel like the hardest part of being in WWE would be just the insane amount of travel they do.
Yeah.
Like that from going in AEW where she wrestled once a week, essentially, if that, and had basically breaks whenever she kind of wanted them, to you have to wrestle 5 days a week and drive yourself around the country. I mean, maybe she has a deal where she doesn't have to drive herself around the country. Maybe she got a bus or something, but
yeah,
a lot.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Good for her anyway.
I mean, yeah, I hope the best.
Yeah. And speaking of WWE, they had a lot of releases this week. Most of them, no offense to any of the one who got released, but they're like NXT talent and I don't really watch NXT, so I don't know who most of them are. But there were a few big names. Dolph Ziggler was probably the biggest. I feel like he's probably destined for AEW unless he's just done with wrestling.
I don't know. AEW has such a huge roster already, though. Like, I mean, I know you get the best talent you can, but at the same time, it's like every time WWE releases people, like they can't just take everybody that gets released.
Yeah, it is a potential problem. I would just assume because his brother's already there that he would be more likely to come over. But you're right. WWE released 25 people and they can't sign, 25 people.
Right.
Well, Blasco had something to say about this. He's not with us today. He's floating high above the Earth's surface. But
yes, he used a satellite phone to email us this.
So, Biddy, you said you would read it with appropriate amount of rage.
Yes, I hope I do him right. All right, here we go. It's Friday, September 22nd, and just 24 hours ago, WWE released talent from the main roster in NXT. Watching it happen in real time was eye-opening, to say the least. WWE has their fans, quote, trained to believing that all these guys and girls are trash and couldn't cut it in WWE. There wasn't a single person thanking Ziggler for his 19 years with the company. He was being called a talentless mid-card guy that had zero potential. Unreal take on a guy who was a former IC champion. I know we're an AEW podcast, but when Jade leaves, they're like when Cody did. We all thanked them and wished them luck, and even in Cody's case, said he made the right choice. Tribalism in sports makes sense when there are tons of teams in a nationwide league. In that case, the talent can go play in virtually any city that has a team. In wrestling, for the first time in decades, those talents now have an option. TNA will take some. I'm sure AEW will sign a few for the main roster and ROH, but the Indies is where we will see these people shine. With all these options, we will get to see some people really spread their wings and show their true colors, not some character that WWE owns the rights to. I'm very excited for all involved to see what the future holds. Their dreams didn't die on Thursday, September 21st. That was an opportunity given to those guys and girls to show the world they can shine.
Nice job. Very
Thanks.
good.
I hope that I put a little oomph into it.
I mean, that is a really good point, because that's one of the good reasons it's so great that AEW exists, or other companies exist, because for 20 years, essentially, if you didn't work in WWE, you just weren't a wrestler anymore.
Right. Well, and with technology being the way it is, it's so much easier to watch indies now, a variety of them. So
yeah, people like the Bucks before, or like Matt
Right.
Cardona now, or like it's harder. It's obviously harder because you have to work with various companies, and like it's like, working freelance versus working for a company. You have to keep hustling and getting new jobs all the time, but you can do it now, whereas before you basically couldn't. Like, you were just out of luck. So
Yeah.
a lot of these people will, I mean, some of them will probably stop wrestling. I wouldn't blame them, because maybe WWE was your dream and it's over, and you're just like, well, I did that, and you just move on and do something else. That's fine. But a lot of them are going to do great things, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, and then
moving on.
Lesko also followed it up with this.
Oh, go
My
ahead.
questions to us. Who from the list do you sign and where do you put them? Ziggler, Emma, and Ollie go straight to AEW. Put Ollie on Collision and give him a mic to get all the frustrations out. Dana Brooke and Shelton Benjamin put in ROH. And finally, Rick and Biddy, thank you for all the support with the back issues. You guys rule.
We do kind of rule, don't we?
And by back issues, we mean thanks for helping send the balloons for his house.
Yeah, he wanted the balloons to get back.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
There
you go. Nice job. Yeah, I think Ziggler will probably come to AEW. I agree with you that they can't sign everybody. Mustafa Ali, I could see doing what, I don't know his real name, sorry, but I could see him doing really well, because he seems to be a pretty creative guy, and WWE's never really let him do that. Like, Emma's a good wrestler, but no offense to AEW. I mean, some offense to AEW. If you're a woman wrestler at this point, AEW doesn't look like as marquee of a destination as it would to like a male wrestler, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like maybe she could go to like, Impact or something else, where she could, get to wrestle more than once every month. But maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Who else? I don't know who else I could see coming. ROH will probably take some people. I'm confused as to what they're doing with ROH.
I think everybody is.
Because a lot of right now it's just on Honor Club, and like, unless you pay money for it, you never see it. But like, a lot of the ROH champions are like big AEW names now. Like, the Elite won the ROH title. Eddie Kingston won an ROH title. Samoa Joe has an ROH title. Like, Adam Cole and MJF have already, like, they're all big AEW names.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just to try to sell you on subscribing to their service, or if they have a plan for like.
But it's almost like, why would you bother buying the service when they do all the main matches on AEW?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not gonna miss Adam Cole and MJF having a title match, because I don't think they've had any on ROH's streaming service. They've all been on AEW.
Yes, that they need to figure that out.
So it's a little odd what they're doing with that. I totally get that, like, Tony Khan had the opportunity to buy ROH and like jumped on it because he wanted it, and go for it. Why not? But they don't really seem to have an idea for it.
Yeah, it definitely seems kind of like, I don't know what to do. Let's just try this.
But it's definitely being featured more. Like, now they're having more ROH matches in AEW, which they weren't for a while.
Well, and now, like, when they first started doing ROH matches, I was like, okay, whatever. And now you definitely care about them more.
Yes.
And not just because they've stuck the titles on the AEW guys necessarily, but that's, it's exposing people who don't know ROH to, like, the belts, and like learning the history about them. Like, after Eddie won, I didn't know the history of ROH, so I got to go back and look that up. I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. So it is cool in that aspect, but it's like, okay, are we doing AEW / ROH like combined for good, or is it two separate things? Are the rosters going to be split? Obviously they're not right now. It's just kind of like confusing.
Yeah, there's definitely, it's it is better than before when they were doing a bunch of ROH stuff and like I didn't really care about it. But it's still a little odd.
I agree.
So WrestleDream on Sunday night.
Here we go.
should be a big show. I mean, they've had a ton of big shows. What I was thinking of during Grand Slam is AEW has had like an infinite number of big shows in the last little while, but they still make them feel like big shows. Like Grand Slam did feel bigger than like a regular Dynamite.
I do have to give. While I'm overwhelmed with all of it, it's like there's still banger after banger. Like
right, like they've yet to have a bad one.
Right. I'm like, oh, this time will be when it's kind of a dud. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see this one being a dud though, just based on the card. But I mean, eventually it has to be. Eventually they have to have one that doesn't like blow you away.
Yeah.
So we're going to start at the bottom of the card and go up to the main event. So what I have written at the bottom of the card, not to say that this is necessarily going to open the show, but this is what I have written down. A 4-team, I don't know if it's an elimination match or just a regular team match. The Young Bucks versus the Guns versus the Lucha Bros versus Orange Cassidy and Hook for a future tag title shot. They said, I think they specified that it could be whenever they want it, but I'm not sure of that. What do you think, Biddy?
I'm going Orange Cassidy and Hook.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. Because I don't think it's.
Yeah, you gotta let Orange carry that momentum. Somehow.
Yeah, because he had that huge title reign and he needs to do something.
Oh, and he's probably one of, if not top 2 most over guys in the entire company. So
definitely. I don't think it'll be the Bucks. I don't think it'll be the Lucha Bros.
I hope it's not the Bucks. Nothing against the Bucks, but like, come on. They've had the trios, the AEW tag, and now what is it? Oh, the trios for ROH. Like,
yeah.
Are you gonna put every damn belt you can on yourself?
I mean, CM Punk's gone now, so I guess you can.
CM Punk watched that and was like, God,
this is why I got so angry.
He punched a TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Orange Cassidy and Hook. I have noticed that when they talk about Hook winning the FTW title back, they never mention who he beat. They're just like, he got the title back. Moving on. And like, I think JR mentioned him, and then they kind of quickly moved on from that conversation because I don't think they're supposed to mention Jack Perry. But
they're like,
yeah.
But there's been no word of what's up with him, so.
No, I'm assuming he's like suspended, but I don't know. They haven't said for how long or anything.
So, but Blasco says the Guns.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I could see the Guns. I can't see the Bucks or the Lucha Bros, but I could see the Guns potentially doing it.
I guess I could.
Just because like Bullet Club is so fun, and I would like to see them do more stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one. TBS title, kind of random out of nowhere match. That's the problem when you have these no build pay-per-views, is the matches all seem kind of random.
Right.
Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart.
I'm going Chris.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Julia Hart's been. They were hyping her up on, I think, Collision, how she's been undefeated this year, and she's improved a lot. But I can't see Chris losing that.
She has. I watched most of Collision, and like she had some moves in there. I was like, oh, I didn't know she could do that.
Yeah.
I guess maybe 6 months ago she probably couldn't, but now she can. So.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be better than people expect.
I agree.
But yeah, I think Stat definitely takes it.
I just realized it's the one women's match, isn't it? We don't get a women's world title match on this one.
You know, I think AEW has some issues with the women's stuff.
Very odd to have, because your most over women are like Britt or Toni Storm or
unless they do something tomorrow to set up another one.
Yeah.
I guess we do have tomorrow.
Yeah. I guess technically Saturday. I mean, they could book it the day before.
That's true. Talk about no build.
Eddie Kingston versus, I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly, I'm sorry, Katsuyori Shibata for both the ROH World Championship and Strong Openweight Championships, which are both Eddie's. Shibata has the title himself, but it's not for that title.
I think Eddie takes it. They're not going to take those off of Eddie a week or whatever after he won them.
I can't see them doing that unless they want to like build to some like redemption story, but I don't think they should do that.
I don't think they should either. Let the guy have his moment.
Yeah. for sure. And I mean, he would just love to face like Japanese legends forever. So
Yeah.
he must be happy about that. Things that make me happy. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Blasco also said Eddie.
Yeah, makes sense. Things that make me happy. The now actual TNT champion, Christian Cage, versus Darby Allin, 2 out of 3 falls. This one I'm not sure of.
Well, Blasco says, do we see Copeland? I think we do.
Yeah, I think we do too.
This will be what, the third pay-per-view you guys have been saying this? So
yeah, and I mean, apparently his contract ran out in September, so this is October 1st. So
yeah,
and it's a good way for, not that they necessarily need, like, not that they need to do it, but like it kind of, Jade going to WWE kind of makes AEW, takes a bit of their momentum a little bit. So this would be a way of getting it back, in my opinion, at least. But yeah, I think he'll show up, and I think, I don't know, I'm not sure, because like Darby's lost a whole bunch.
Yeah.
For the TNT title, but I also can't see them taking it off Christian now. I'm gonna go with Christian.
I'm gonna go with Christian. Blasco has Darby.
I could see this one going either way. I could see this being like Luchasaurus turning on Christian, or like abandoning Christian and like having Darby win.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think
Christian.
I'm going to say Christian too.
And it's 2 to 3 falls, so it leaves things open for shenanigans.
Lots of shenanigans, which Christian's very good at.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be, you know how like when they start the match with like just attacking someone with a chair and be like, I'll lose the fall, but I'll break his leg. I can see Christian definitely doing that.
I do like that Christian called out Nick Wayne's mom.
How good has Christian been though, honestly?
Oh my God, he's just amazing. Like
I always knew he was like better than he was in WWE. Like he could be better than he was in WWE, but like he's surpassed that now. Like he's doing great.
He's 49 years old.
I know, and he looks awesome too. Like he looks incredible.
Yeah, he's just, man. Going to AEW I hope he's feeling good about it, because he should. This is beautiful.
Obviously the right decision. A weird one that I have a bit of a rant about, and I think you may agree with me. Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and our best friend Chris Jericho versus the Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay.
Listen, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, like that's the thing. This match is going to be great, and it will have zero to do with Chris Jericho.
Yeah, it's like Kenny Omega. Oh hell yeah, Ibushi. Hell yeah, Takeshita. Yeah, Ospreay. F yeah, Guevara.
Yeah, he's fine, right?
yeah, but he's a great performer. And then there's Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Like, dragging his saggy ass around the ring.
So what did you think of that whole thing at Grand Slam?
I mean, you guys called it. You guys called it to a T. And I watched it. I knew what was going to happen. I'm like, no, here it comes. And I was like, F. I think I immediately texted you guys. I was like,
yeah.
MF.
It was like the Sammy turn was it's fine. Like whatever. I don't love it, because Sammy's whole thing is he's always been with like a group of people.
Right.
And I kind of wanted him to not be with a group of people, just for at least a little bit. But like it was fine. It was slightly surprising that he joined Don Callis, but like Jericho there was no reason at all for Jericho to win that match. None whatsoever.
No.
Like if they were going to have Sammy turn, they could have had Sammy turn and screw him out of the match and like win the match.
Yeah. It's
like there's this thing in wrestling that like, oh, we're going to have you lose, but we'll make you look strong at the end. I remember CM Punk saying that on like that Colt Cabana podcast after he left WWE. He was like, oh, he had a match against Roman Reigns, and they said that, oh, we want you're going to win, but we want you to make sure that you make Roman Reigns look strong. And he was like, well, why don't you just have him win the match? It's true. Like if you want Sammy Guevara to like be established as like this big threat, then just have him win the match instead of having whatever happened.
Yeah, that goofy. Oh God,
Jericho made that call too. Like, oh, people will like it more if I win and then I get turned. No, nobody liked it more.
No,
Like,
nobody. We kind of just.
This match, if this match was Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi against Takeshita and Ospreay, incredible match.
Hell yeah.
And like it would have like the first time Omega and Ibushi would be teaming just as a team in AEW. It would have Takeshita and Ospreay being a team. That would be great.
But no, Jericho had to stick his dang face into it, get his boy into it, and himself.
And make it about him. Make it about like, this will be Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho getting together. Like, no, that's not what it should be about at all. It should be about Ibushi and Omega getting revenge on Don Callis.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I hate it. The match will be good. The match will be good, obviously, but I hate it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I guess Jericho and Omega and Ibushi win. I guess. I don't know.
I'm going Callis, and so is Blasco.
All right. I in my heart, I think Callis will win, but I have this feeling Jericho will be like, no, I'll win, and then they'll get attacked or something, and so we can stretch it out longer. I don't know. I don't like it.
No, because if they lose, it's going to stretch it out longer and longer. So, like, yeah,
that's true.
I mean, whoever wins, they can stretch it out, and you can bet your tail on it that they will.
This is gonna last a year.
Yeah, at least I now know when I'll take my pee breaks.
The thing is,
and it sucks because everyone else, like Takeshita, I love him to death. Ospreay's great, but I mean, he's not there full time. But
if this was Takeshita and Ospreay against Omega and Ibushi, it would be like potential match of the night.
Yeah, agreed.
And now it's just like, I don't want to see this. When like it'll be good, but I don't want to see it.
You got 2 third wheelers that are just gonna suck the energy out of it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, that's all. And like, I know Kenny's probably still kind of run down and hurt, but like he could also be doing better than this, right? Like
that's what I like. I'm like, come on, dude.
Like we saw him go 1-on-1 with Ospreay, and it was outstanding.
Right.
So like, I have a feeling that he's probably trying not to get injured or nursing an injury or like, just trying to slow down a bit because he's been in a lot of tag matches recently.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 6-man tag matches, but like, I would much rather just see him wrestle.
Well, also, it's a pay-per-view, so he's on that pay-per-view losing streak, so.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Maybe, and here, fingers crossed, maybe they carry this over to Full Gear, and that's when he finally gets his win, and gets one over on the Callis family, and then hopefully they find something else for Jericho to do.
Yeah, that's true. Or Kenny and Jericho and Ibushi win, and then Jericho's like, see, you won because you teamed with me. Let's keep teaming. And then they...
the whole idea just gives me diarrhea.
What was it Blasco called?
Jero Omega or something?
Jero Omega. Yeah. They're going to do something like that. I remember he had this like 3-week team with AJ Styles in WWE, and they called it Y2AJ. Like he loves like putting names together. Yeah, I don't want him around anymore. And like, he's not bad. Like he's not bad. But like,
it's his ego has really been coming through a lot the last like year.
Right.
And it's grating.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know Jericho's always had an ego, duh. But
I mean, every wrestler does, but
right.
Yeah.
But it just feels like he's just inserting himself into unnatural storylines. Like it doesn't feel organic at all.
No, not at all.
And I feel like he thought maybe this with Sammy would be more organic, and it still feels forced.
Yeah, it's not like the ego is obviously a problem, but it's not even the ego. It's like it's pretty obvious that he's involved in like writing his own storylines, and they haven't been good. Yeah, like they just haven't been.
Yeah, they've really,
to a point where like I know he's a big name and he probably has something in his contract, and like you don't want to upset the big names, but like eventually Tony Khan, I feel like, has to be like, no, you can't just, these haven't been working.
Yeah.
Because
is Tony Khan gonna stand up to Chris Jericho? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, he eventually stood up to CM Punk, but only after CM Punk tried to like attack him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't see. It was.
And that's the other thing. Jericho's a schmoozer, you know. He'd be like, "I'm your buddy," you know. Unlike CM Punk, who's just like, you know, flip a table.
Right. Yeah, like Jericho will like be a jerk, but like he's your friend, so you don't think about it. Yeah. I think it was Eddie Kingston who said in an interview this week that like Tony Khan's a nice guy. If anything, he's too nice, and I agree with that. I really think he is too nice.
I think so too.
Yeah, he lets things go way more than he should.
He doesn't know how to stop being a friend and being the authority.
Yeah.
He's like that parent that wants to be everyone's best friend.
Right. And I mean, to an extent, I kind of get it because he's like around our age. And obviously he's super rich, but like he's around our age and just grew up with the wrestling we grew up with. And isn't it super cool that Chris Jericho is now like hanging out with you? Like, I get that, but
that's
also
the little nerd boy in Indianapolis or Indiana or Illinois, whatever one, they're the same place. You know, he's just like big-eyed.
Yeah,
it's like you're also a 40-year-old man with $1 billion company or whatever.
Right.
You gotta, you know, snap out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or hire someone to help you. Do be the bad
I feel
guy.
like he has that. I think that's the solution. I think he has to hire like a bad guy who like is in charge of the roster, and like then this person goes and gives people the bad news, and it's not him.
Yeah.
Because it's a little much.
Yeah.
Anyway, ROH tag titles, Better Than You, baby, against, which always sounds weird to say, just like outright, versus the Righteous, who have come up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I didn't quite realize who they were, and then I just had this like Rob Zombie looking dude on my screen all of a sudden.
I mean, I like what I've seen so far. Like they've apparently done a lot in ROH that I haven't really seen, but I like what I've seen from them in AEW.
I have not seen a lot, so I cannot comment.
Well, there you go. I mean, they seem fine. I mean, they kind of have like it's a kind of Wyatt family-ish gimmick, like backwoods preacher type guys.
Gotcha.
It's been good. I don't know. I think my first thought was initially that they might win because they had them beat the Hardys and they had them win that tag elimination, whatever it was, match. So they're clearly pushing them. So I thought they might win, and like that could be the falling out of MJF and Adam Cole, but I don't think so. I think it goes a bit longer.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm going with MJF and Cole. Blasco has the Righteous with help from the Kingdom. I
mean, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I could see that too.
I loved while we're on it, I love the stuff the Kingdom did and Roderick Strong did at Grand Slam.
They've been killing it.
Yeah.
like
for some reason he was in like the worst hospital in New York. Like for some reason in New York for no apparent reason. Because like he didn't get injured there. He doesn't live there.
Adam, where are you? Open your eyes.
I laughed so much at that. It's like he's just yelling, I can't see you. Where are you? Just open your eyes, dude.
Oh my gosh.
And then the super creaky bed.
The slow like oh my gosh.
He's been outstanding. I didn't know he was funny, but
he's super funny.
He's super funny and I love it.
They're really good like sidekicks for that too, because they're all like neck strong, neck held, support your friend's neck. Like they're like I didn't know anything about them really either, and all of a sudden, like
it's all been great.
Whoever stuck all of them together, man, good job.
When they first came back to AEW, like they debuted at the Rampage that I was at in like October of last year, but then they went to ROH for a long time. When they came back to like being on AEW TV, I was surprised they didn't bring Maria Kanellis with them because she'd been managing them. But now I get it because I don't think she's particularly funny, but they are. And it's funnier to just have them hang out by themselves than if they had like a competent woman with them. It would be less funny unless she was like their straight man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been great, and I hope this keeps going. Unlike the Jericho story, like they could take this one for another 6 months, and I'd be perfectly happy with it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's between them and then they're great folds to Better Than You, baby. Like it's they've struck gold with this, and I want to keep it. I want to see it keep rolling.
Yeah, that's another reason why I feel like MJF and Cole keep the belts because that has to be a tag match.
Yeah.
The Kingdom against them. So
Yeah.
It's been great stuff. Another tag title match, this time AEW tag titles. FTR against Aussie Open. I know they had a match a year ago that they've talked about a little bit on AEW TV that was apparently outstanding. I did not see it.
Right.
But apparently was great. So it seems like people are expecting big things from this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And I don't know. I mean, you almost feel like in the air that FTR is going to lose them sooner than later.
Yeah, I agree.
But do they do it to Aussie Open?
I don't think so. I'm picking FTR.
I'm leaning FTR as well.
But you're right that it kind of does feel like they have this open challenge thing and they're talking about how they're the greatest tag team in the world, and that kind of seems like they eventually lose, but I don't think it'll be Aussie Open. I don't know who it'll be, but I don't think it'll be
I'm
Aussie
not
Open.
sure who, but I don't think it's going to be them.
Yeah.
Blasco said FTR, and this will be match of the year contender.
I mean, apparently their last match was outstanding.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it. But I fully believe that because both these teams are good.
Right. Yeah. Especially Kyle Fletcher, man.
Yeah, he's going to be. I mean, he's a lot younger than the rest of them.
Yeah, and he's super
I think he's going to be really big.
Like, I almost would like to see him against Ospreay someday soon.
Oh yeah.
That would probably be. Whew.
That would be good too because they're in the same stable, so having them fall out and then have a match would be.
That's right.
Really good.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I think that'd be a killer.
Definitely. I feel like Ospreay, his contract apparently is up. His New Japan contract is up.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't want to live in the US, so that might exclude him from signing with AEW, but I feel like Pac doesn't live in the US and they just work around that.
Right. I read up a bit about it, and he would be okay with doing, where he spends a few weeks here, does his thing, and then goes away for a bit and then come, kind of like Pac.
Right.
Which
and that would be great. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ospreay's incredible. So
I want to see all of as much Ospreay as I can. And if that's what it'll take to have him there at least some of the time, hell yeah.
What if it took just a lot of matches with Chris Jericho?
Don't even joke about that. I feel like you're gonna jinx it. We already had one. Now we're gonna have a second.
Yeah.
You know what? Shut up, Rick. How dare you?
Now, a match that I'm really looking forward to: Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fire.
I feel like you kind of have to go with Swerve.
I'm going with Swerve,
especially because the Elite won the ROH 6-man titles recently, so they already had their win.
Yeah. Oh, and Blasco has Swerve as well. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling Swerve.
Yeah, and he needs a big win. He hasn't done. I mean, he's been great, but he hasn't really had any huge moments. So
yeah, I want Swerve to win too.
I really do. I really, really want him to win because Hangman is kind of he hasn't had much going on recently either, but he is kind of just eternally over.
Yeah.
So I don't think he needs it as much as Swerve does.
Agreed. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a banger.
And then what I'm assuming will be the main event because why would it not be?
Well, they keep calling it the dream match for WrestleDream. So yeah.
Yeah. Might be one of the greatest things we've seen in a while.
Yeah. Bryan
Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. Blasco says this will probably be a match of the year contender for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless something happens like it did for Okada against Anderson.
Unless he somehow gets injured. Hopefully he doesn't. Because I don't know, did you see his match from Collision against Ricky Starks?
I am halfway through it and then I ran out of time. I know.
So good.
I know.
Incredible.
You said that and I'm like, I gotta watch it, but then my internet was out for over 24 hours. Don't worry.
He's so good though. He's so good at everything.
I know. That's just I don't even know if I'm halfway through it, but just beginning going through the crowd and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this guy's the freaking best.
He's incredible. He's good at everything. I don't know how he is, but he's good at brawling matches. He's good at technical matches. He's good at garbage junk matches. He's good at high flying matches. He can cut promos. He can do everything.
He does everything exceptionally well. He was built in a lab to be a perfect wrestler.
Yeah, for sure. He's incredible.
And the thing is, he's not even a big guy, really.
No.
He's only 190 pounds.
Yeah, like he wouldn't look especially imposing, but he like his gimmick and the way he presents himself and the way he
Right.
wrestles like makes him seem super dangerous, even though you
Right.
wouldn't think that he's super dangerous.
Right. Like yeah. Take all the big men and I'd be more scared of Danielson.
Yeah. Just because he seems like he really enjoys it when he's hurting people.
Yeah.
Like he really likes it.
Anyway, who do you think takes it?
I'm gonna say it's his hometown.
That's
I'm
true.
gonna say Bryan Danielson.
I forgot that he's a Washington boy for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's gonna take it. Although I won't be surprised if Zack Sabre Jr.
No, I wouldn't be
though.
surprised at all.
But it's gonna be
it's gonna be outstanding, and I hope he gets the final countdown again because they've lost Jade's contract and CM Punk's contract, so they can maybe they can afford to pay for it again.
Well, again, that and it's in his home state. I bet. Are you kidding me? Of course, Tony's gonna shell out through all
and
Seattle.
It's the final countdown on his career because he said he was.
Yeah. We're definitely getting final countdown.
Yeah, I love everything about him.
Me too.
Like this could just be like a Bryan Danielson is great podcast.
And that's like you guys at least watch some WWE and stuff. I never saw him till he was in AEW, and I was like, he's worth every bit of hype plus more.
Yeah, I never watched his ROH stuff, which I've heard is also incredible. Like his original ROH stuff, which I've heard is also incredible. But yeah, WWE like at a time when WWE was just bad, like just generally overall bad, he was great. In every nonsense thing that they put him in, he was great. He can do it all.
Yeah.
So
we love Danielson. Woo! Jericho. Yeah.
Oh, have we done Danielson Jericho yet? We have, right?
Oh God! Don't stop giving them ideas.
I think it's already been done, so I'm not worried about that.
You know what? I blocked it out because.
I mean, apparently he's been backstage, like he's Tony Khan's like most trusted guy.
Thank God.
Danielson, which is if you're going to trust anyone, I feel like not only is Danielson good at everything, but he seems like he is the opposite in terms of ego. Like he has no ego whatsoever.
Right. He's just a nice little vegan dude with a family, likes to go on hikes with his kids, and then he comes
just,
and
brutalize people in the ring.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just I love him.
Because I forget what his interview was, but he said he's told his dad that if he got hit by a bus and there was a show tomorrow and he needed someone to write the show, let Danielson do it.
Oh yeah, I read that. Yeah.
So that's obviously a great choice.
Yes, absolutely. What? Yeah. Please don't leave it to Jericho.
You could tell Jericho just like, what? I spent 4 years sucking up to him.
Yeah.
And he's leaving it to this guy.
But yeah. Well, that's. The other thing is that Bryan is such a wrestling nerd too.
Yeah.
Like that's that same interview said that he and Tony will just sit down and talk for hours about like wrestling, like old wrestling matches.
And I'm sure like the most obscure of old wrestling too.
Yeah.
Like matches that happened in like the 70s in Japan. Like I'm sure they know and have information on and can talk about it in detail.
Yeah. But yeah, thank goodness that's who Tony trusts the most. Like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going to be like a huge moment for him. He hasn't got to wrestle in his home state since he came to AEW. So
yeah, that'll
be great.
I mean, that's probably going to be worth the price of the entire pay-per-view.
Yeah, for sure.
Alone.
Now, speaking of the pay-per-view and the hype around the pay-per-view, they've pitched it as in the commercial. Tony Khan did the voiceover, first of all, which I thought was interesting, because he doesn't usually. The voiceover said, "You won't want to miss AEW WrestleDream as we'll end a chapter in wrestling history and begin a new era in AEW." Now, what does that mean?
I mean, how many times have they talked about this new era stuff?
I mean, they had. I think the last time they talked about a new AEW is when they changed the set for Dynamite.
Is it?
Yeah. I think. Did they talk about Collision as a new era?
I was going to say, I feel like they were talking about Collision as a new era.
Maybe. I mean, I kind of agree with that, too, because things did change a lot when they had Collision.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier today to both of you, like, they've had kind of, like, 4 eras. They've had, like, the original AEW era, and then, like, the pandemic era, and then everybody showing up, like Punk and Christian and Danielson and
Yeah.
Adam Cole, like the new guys era, and then kind of like the Collision current era.
It's a lot of eras for what, a 5-year-old company.
It is. Like it definitely is.
The pandemic, no one saw that coming, and it happened like not long after it got going. So
yeah, and they definitely had to change, and they did a pretty good job there. So
they did. Actually, like for such a young company to pull through that and pull through going pretty strong is actually extremely impressive.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know what this is. I mean, there was some. To me, it seems kind of ridiculous rumors on the internet that like, oh, Tony Khan's going to buy New Japan. Like, no, I don't think. No, he's not.
No,
like I don't think that's what it is.
New Japan's fine. It's like,
yeah, I think it might be. It feels like it might have something to do with ROH, but I don't know if that's going to be what they would pitch as a new era, or an end of chapter in wrestling history. Like, what does that mean? End of chapter in wrestling history.
They take CM Punk in the center of the ring and murder him.
I mean, that would end the chapter. Like,
sure would. That'd be a new era.
That was a definite. The CM Punk era was definitely a time in AEW, right? Like him showing up was a change.
Yeah.
So
it was a roller coaster.
Yeah. It might be like just as simple as like now they're going to have more pay-per-views. Now they're going to be on the streaming service, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I feel like announcing a streaming service doesn't seem like an era unless they're like now going to have pay-per-views every month.
Whew.
That would be a big change. And I hope they don't do that because I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, this whole a pay-per-view once a month thing, I'm not on board with it.
Like even if they're included somehow, like there's a service that they're included in, like I still don't want it.
That's still too many. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll find out though.
I guess we will find out. Or was it just like hype? Like, is it just Tony Khan wants you to buy the pay-per-view, so he's saying something?
This is the hot new pay-per-view. It's a new era. Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, they kind of always do live up to their hype most of the time.
Right. Got to give it to them.
Other than the time when his announcement was just, Collision will feature CM Punk. Other than that time, I feel like they live up to their hype most of the rest of the time.
Like, yeah, duh, we knew.
I love that because he didn't even say like the main event of Collision will be and like announce it. It was just CM Punk. And that's it. Like
CM Punk's under the table with a gun up to him. Like, see it.
I hope whatever the new era is, I hope Tony Khan announces it live just for the awkwardness of it all.
Oh, one thing we did not mention was that he did Daniel Garcia's dance.
Oh yes, he did do Daniel Garcia's dance,
and it was gloriously awkward.
It was exactly what you would expect it to be.
Yep,
it was great. He needs to do the Prince Nana dance next.
Oh, it's on the agenda. I'm sure
maybe it'll happen this weekend.
It's like in his billionaire notes, like Prince Nana dance. Oh,
he's such a weird nerd that he has like this notebook that he writes everything down in. So yeah, that's probably in there somewhere. It'll be fun. I'm excited for it. It'll be a great pay-per-view, like they always are.
Yeah. Now that we talked about it more, and especially that Danielson match, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely. Oh yeah, we got to talk about which one of us is going to buy it.
Well, I mean, all of us obviously will.
I mean, yes, all of us will.
Because that would be wrong otherwise.
We don't live in England.
No.
And we're not also using our English citizenry to also buy NHL.
No, of course not.
Not at all.
But but like the Danielson Zack Sabre match, Hangman Swerve, even FTR Aussie Open, regrettably even the Jericho family thing.
Minus him.
Yeah, minus him.
Like, just boot him out, and then I'm good.
I'd be so excited if he just wasn't in that. Him and Sammy just did something else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're gonna have a 5-minute speech, and then like.
I mean, I wouldn't watch it, but yeah, I'd be glad.
No,
they're
but
not
at
in that
least
match.
I'd have another good match that I would enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Another thing we didn't mention. I mean, it's less likely to happen now because of the card. We talked about Adam Copeland coming. Mercedes Moné will show up at some point.
I'm thinking more maybe Full Gear, so that she's healed a little longer, got some physical therapy in. Especially because this match doesn't even have it's obviously going to be Saraya. It doesn't even have Saraya on the card. It's a sausage party, so Full Gear. Yeah, I think Full Gear is more likely. Plus, I think they would if Adam Copeland does come out for WrestleDream, like you kind of want to space that apart. Like don't blow your load and all, don't blow your whole load at once.
Yeah, so the time they did that was pretty great. When they had CM Punk's first match and then Adam Cole and then Bryan Danielson, like that was pretty great. I mean, it was all on one show. Like, yes, they could have made that 3 shows, but yeah, how great was it to have it on one show?
But I think, not that I had the same injury or anything, but as someone who's broken their ankle and was doing a pretty intense sport at the time, like you got to get some physical therapy under your to get back to being able to get in any kind of performance shape. So yeah, I think Full Gear is way more likely.
And apparently, there might be a December pay-per-view, so maybe they'll do it then.
Merry Christmas.
The rumor on itself is annoying, but like the rumored date for it is something like December 29th or 30th or like that's like the worst. Why are you doing it then? That's the worst possible day.
Just don't listen. Everyone's busy in December. Too much. It's not bad enough I have to deal with my family for half the month. Like,
I really hope they don't do that, because who looks at the calendar and goes, you know what? In between Christmas and New Year's, that's when people have time to watch this pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, I'm a busy lady.
Yeah. Anything else, Biddy?
No.
Are you just too busy? You just got to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got nothing.
Okay. Cool, guys. Hey, thanks for listening.
Yes. Oh, follow us, like, share, subscribe.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. Google Podcast is disappearing because, of course, it is. Google does that. So I'm going to try to put this on YouTube and YouTube Podcast if I can figure it out. So you have there to watch us too, or listen to us. There's no video.
Yeah. No video. You don't want to see us.
No, of course not. No one does. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, rate. Question of the week is, what do you think they mean by new era? So let us know.
Answer it, nerds.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.